Hey there, fellow Patriots. Welcome back to another episode of Patriots of the American Republic. We've got a local story happening today. Normally I cover news that goes around the entire country, but this time we're sticking local to the area of Florida, right? So a few months back, we compared the current Democratic Party and their tactics to the Venezuelan dictatorship in order to draw parallels of the similarities between the two, right? Many people have experienced actual communism notice these similarities far easier than people who have never actually lived through it, which is why a huge majority of Cubans tend to vote Republican. They've heard similarities and in their day, and it pushes them away, kind of like a nerd next to a hot supermodel, right? One of the easiest attributes that we can compare is the left's attempt to censor freedom of speech, right? The left has essentially labeled anything they disagree with as hate speech in order to silence you. Something as simple as, men can't give birth is considered transphobic and can get you censored. It could even cost you a job in some cases, right? Criticizing anyone can be deemed as hate speech, and you'll essentially be canceled for it. Freedom of speech is the pillar of any free country, and the left will do everything it can within their power to silence you. That is why freedom of speech, which is part of our constitutional amendment, must be defended, protected, and respected now more than ever, lest we become like countries such as North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, China, and others, right? So let me give you a little bit of a backstory here of what we're going to cover. On May 17th, 2025, right here in Lakeland, Florida, it's a little bit further out east than where I'm actually at, a popular YouTuber named Kaitlyn Bennett visited the downtown farmers market in order to record some content for her channel named LibertyHangout. So I was first introduced to Kaitlyn on her channel a few years back when she was interviewing young folks down by, I'm not sure if it was Clearwater or St. Pete Beach, and she would ask simple historic questions regarding our country. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have. There's a lot of people that do that. It's both funny, sad, frustrating. I don't know. The multitude of different feelings go through me when I watch that. But lately, she's been going to protests and either trolling the left or interviewing people and challenging their thought process. The farmers market would be the backdrop for Kaitlyn's next visit. Almost immediately, she was recognized and confronted by a woman named Julie Townsend, who is apparently one of the organizers or leaders of this event. Let's take a look at where this all started.
This is Julie Townsend. She's the executive director of the Lakeland Downtown Development Authority and a registered Democrat with a power complex who is notorious around town for using taxpayer dollars to install facial recognition cameras in Lakeland to spy on people who she puts on a watch list. As soon as I arrived, she somehow promptly found me walking down the street to let me know my presence wasn't welcome at her farmer's market and that she was going to follow me around and disrupt my interviews.
So if you could
I've never spoken to you before.
Okay, then someone that looks very much like you that also does this, if you would just
Have you spoken to me before?
No, I have not spoken to you.
Yeah. So the only time someone, I don't even see a name badge. It just says Downtown Lakeland on your hat. I don't even know who you are.
I'm the executive director of the Lakeland Downtown Development Authority.
Okay, cool. So I've never spoken to you. I've spoken to one of your, I guess, city employees that tried to tell me that I had to leave, and you guys spread around to other people that I was banned from here. So,
No.
yeah.
Oh, so you think because you say something, I'm supposed to believe it, but you don't believe what I say, just because I say it?
Oh, I think it's untrue that I can't stop.
We can step over here.
No, I'm going to continue my interviews.
Okay. Well, then I'll just disrupt you.
You're going to disrupt me?
Yeah.
Julie's aggression towards me started to make a little more sense when I learned she's also the wife of a disgraced former Florida school board member, Billy Townsend, a radical liberal who has written extensively about a civil war with MAGA and has made a ton of bizarre statements on Substack calling for MAGA freaks to be rejected from society.
So we can clearly see in this video, this lady essentially harassed Kaitlyn by following her around, even though Kaitlyn asked her not to, right? Afterwards, Kaitlyn is eventually approached by police officers more than likely at the request of Julie or perhaps someone else, that she could not be filming on the street.
I talked to the cops a little later on who, like every other time I've been to the farmer's market, told me that I'm welcome to film and only asked that I step off to the side. So, as you can see, I complied with their request for literally all of my interviews.
It's basic. All it is that it's fine for you to do what you're doing.
I know
She's
that.
just asking that you guys move off to the side and not block
if the people
the
want to
vendors.
move off to the side, I have no problem moving with them, but I can't force people to like move. But we do generally go off to the side.
Okay.
There's shade there, so
That's
I'm not
basically-
standing in the
it's not-
side.
It's not to make your interview. It's basically.
So is this not a public street right now?
So what happens is that the Lakeland Downtown Authority, every time they have the farmers market,
Right.
they kind of like reserve the street.
reserve.
And they
So
can
pay
kick
for
out
their
people?
permits. Yes, they actually have authority to trespass people.
Okay.
They're not wanting to trespass you. All
Yeah,
they're
that would-
asking is
that
kindly
would be
if you
bad.
step off to the side.
So after complying to the request of moving over to the sidewalk, and she was told she would not get trespassed if she moved, the cops proceeded to eventually trespass her.
But here's what happened next when the cops talked to me. Are we getting in trouble again?
Yes.
Why?
So we've actually seen messages in this WhatsApp group chat that they have. So we're now getting complaints that
What's that on? What is that going to be on?
This is Liberty Hangout. We're Trump
Liberty
supporters.
Hangout.
This
Okay,
is
cool,
friendly
cool, cool.
media.
Yes, thank you.
This
Thank
is
you for
friendly
what you
media.
do.
Thank you.
so much.
Appreciate it. What?
Okay.
Groups in a chats in a
So
WhatsApp?
they have the Lakeland Downtown Authority, going back to them, right? Everybody here, when they're part of all the vendors and stuff,
Sure.
they have like their own group chat where they communicate. Okay, so it's coming to our attention now that again, we're just communicating this. Okay,
Sure.
That you guys are saying kind of disrespectful things about deportation and saying some hateful statements.
Okay.
So at this point now, they do want to have you trespass from the property
For my speech?
for.
I'm not saying anything. These are people. These are actually their customers
So the
that are
customers-
engaging in this.
So some of these customers have been going to the downtown tent and filing complaints with the authority.
You're making inflammatory remarks. I don't really feel like hating people and using hate to get attention is something that I like. You guys are saying kind of disrespectful things about deportation and saying some hateful statements.
That's fine if they want to complain, but I can say my opinions out on the street, right?
You can say your opinions. However, like we were trying to say before, is that this is to say this in a more understandable way. This is a private event open to the public.
Okay, so I'm
they
the
do
public.
They do have the right, the authority to trespass people if they want to.
Okay, so
they
to be
do have
clear,
the right.
they're wanting to trespass me based on my speech.
It's not based on your speech. It's based on the fact that they've asked you already to step off to the side.
And
right?
I've done that. You just witnessed me doing
So
that.
we have other pictures that show otherwise. We also have messages that show otherwise.
What messages that show otherwise?
That's something that you
Can I
could-
show them? Because I'm being accused with this proof.
So this weekend, definitely what I'll do is I'll be able to document.
I wanna see it.
Okay, can you let me speak, please?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to document everything,
Okay.
right, into this call note that we have created, right? So I'm going to take down your guys' information. I'll take down her information. Okay.
Who's her?
The representative of the Lakeland Downtown Authority.
Okay.
Who we spoke about earlier.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll give you that case number, and if you would like to get a copy of all of that, you can actually talk to the LPD records and provide that case number, and then maybe they can contact.
So to be clear, are we being charged with trespassing or asked to leave?
No, you're being trespassed.
We're being charged.
If you come back,
It's not a charge. It's basically
yeah.
it's basically
It's a
telling you that
warning.
We're just being asked to leave.
It's
you're
a
no
warning,
longer
yeah.
to be over here. Yeah.
yeah.
So where are the limits that they've reserved?
Farmers market.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you cannot come back to the farmers market as long as they are having them every Saturday, whatever hours it is. It's typically 8 to 2, sometimes 8 to 1. You just cannot come back to the farmers market. If you do come back and they do call us back because you guys are trespassing, you could face jail time for that.
So the number of reasons given in this exchange based on the video Kaitlyn posted did not seem to make sense to me. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to link her original video in the comments below if you wish to view the entire event off of her channel. That way you can get everything just in case. All of this was done in order to essentially silence Kaitlyn, since she is a right-wing Trump-supporting conservative, which is clearly an attempt to squash free speech. So, a few days after this event happened, another popular YouTuber and friend of show, Adam Francisco, shout out to Adam, did a reaction video of what happened to Kaitlyn. In that video, yours truly suggested we go to Lakeland and wear our MAGA gear and show up and make our voices heard. So I don't think Adam actually saw that, but he eventually came to the same conclusion and called for a peaceful gathering, or essentially, a peaceful gathering was essentially organized, right? So on May 24th, over 100 patriots showed up to let Julie and her band of leftists know that she has no authority to censor speech that she does not agree with from the public square. In addition to all the patriots that showed up, impactful YouTubers such as Never Woke, as I mentioned, Adam Francisco, and Kaitlyn Bennett herself would be front and center to essentially lead the march.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out, especially in just a week's notice. There wasn't any call to action for this besides I know Robert and Adam kind of put this together. This is so important that you guys are here to celebrate a victory, really. We're not protesting anything because we won. We are allowed to be in the farmers market. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about in the farmers market. That was made clear by the city attorney himself, by my lawyer, and the police. And I'm calling for a public apology from Julie Townsend herself for what she tried to do. I also want an apology from the police department for taking orders from someone that they have no authority to be taking orders from. So really today is all about being so proud to be Americans and celebrating our right to free speech and being so proud of yourselves for coming out here and standing up for this when you know a lot of those people there and a couple little protesters don't want us to have this right. This is MAGA country. We are in Polk County. Did they forget this? I don't know where they think that they are. If they want a more liberal place to be, maybe they should go out to Tampa, get further into Orlando, go down to Miami. We are not going to turn Polk County blue. That's not happening. And so I think this brings to light a lot of the people who are in our government or in quasi-government officials or entities here. So pay attention to your local government, your local elections. Those are so much more important, really, than things that are happening at the federal level. We don't want people in positions of power who are going to arrest people or get the cops to threaten with arrest for talking about deportation. So I have my Make Deportation Great Again shirt here, specifically because that's what they threatened me with arrest for talking about deportation. So if you guys know anything about me, I do not back down from a fight. I welcome it. I have a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, given the deceptive tactics of the left, gathering leaders at our group made it very clear that we are not there to cause any issues, get in people's faces, have screaming arguments, or cause any disturbance to the vendors at the event. It was emphasized our presence was there to be peaceful, and we would actually be helping towards the vendors, right? We were encouraged to, spend our money there, right? Help the local markets, right?
This is Robert Goodman. He's going to just give a little disclaimer for the event today. Robert, take it away.
I'm just very concerned that some people who are opposed to free speech might come out here and try to dress like people who are for free speech and turn this against us. So everybody just needs to buy stuff from the vendors. They haven't done anything wrong. We need to be very respectful to people, engage in helpful conversation, and just keep your head out for people that might be here to cause trouble. I'm sure the Lakeland Police Department is here. If we see anybody that is actually trying to start something, we need to be the first people to shut that down. Absolutely.
Well said.
One thing that we need to make sure is that we cannot give the left any type of ammo. They have so much influence between the media, academia, and other sources. Any example we give them, they'll stretch further, farther, and louder than anything that they ever do, right? Thankfully, though, we got to march down the street with no issues and watch Kaitlyn make her triumphant return.
Okay, I would love if Adam could just lead this with me. We are going to walk down to the farmer's market, in which I was threatened with arrest for being at, and so we are going to walk. So what do you think about deportation?
I'm all for them. If you're illegal, come back in the right way, leave, and then reapply. I think that they should self-deport and then reapply, come in the right way.
Yeah, they should do us a favor by self-deporting so we don't have to, go through the process and have to deal with them ourselves, right?
And Trump even said, show up at an airport and you can get a free flight to wherever you want to go, to the country of your choice. That is so kind and giving.
It is very kind of him, isn't it?
And it's just so loving. Trump is such a loving man, even to criminals that have tried to invade our country. So God bless Trump on that regard.
Absolutely. People try to paint him as mean and everything else, but I think he's actually one of the most kind presidents. There's some LDDA staff members right there. That's the guy, I think, that controls the camera and gets alerted to when they're there. This is actually a very beautiful market. I don't think anyone is talking about, being against Julie's ability to conduct beautiful events here. It's just the issue is she wants to control who gets to come and who gets to speak and what is talked about here. And the people of Polk County is not having it. So very, very proud of everybody who showed up today. Thank you personally from the bottom of my heart for standing up for what's right. Not even for me, but for your ability to speak freely on a public street that you guys pay for. And there's the spy camera right there.
That's the famous spy camera?
That's the famous spy camera right there. Well, I'm back. I'm not going to get arrested because they can't do that. I have lawyers on my side and I have the First Amendment on my side, more importantly. So let's go meet some people who are standing up for free speech today and have a good time. And if you remember, I was specifically kicked out for my speech about deportation. Ironically, I wasn't talking about deportation that day, but I am today. We're gonna make deportation great again, and that's why Trump is our president.
So during this event, YouTubers took to the people to get their views and opinions on what took place, why they're there, and how they feel about the situation.
Why are you out here today?
I'm here to represent our First Amendment right to free speech, and to support the rest of us.
That's right.
That are out here.
Are you a Lakeland local?
I am. We live in North Lakeland.
So how did you feel when you saw this story breaking on the internet?
I was really kind of shocked, to be honest with you, because I really thought that Lakeland had kind of the same ideologies that me and my family do, and my children. That I'm teaching my children here, and when I saw this, I saw how they were doing. I know there's been some issues in the city of Lakeland, but I really thought that it would have been a different outcome than what was the ending.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. So Polk County is red.
Polk County is red, absolutely.
Yeah. Although
very much red. Like, Polk County is very much red, like 90+%.
But I do think farmers markets do skew liberal.
Red.
Probably. So the vendors and the attendees are probably skewing.
That's what I'm saying. You're shooting yourself in the foot because you know that you're going to get hammered back. It doesn't make sense.
Well, we're going to show them today that Polk County's red.
That's right.
So hey, what's your name?
Zach Peters.
Zach Peters. You having a good time today?
Yep.
Awesome. What brought you out here?
I'm the Deputy Secretary of the County TOP Republicans chapter. I'm here showing my support.
That's awesome. Awesome. And how did you get involved in politics?
Well, I started liking Trump when I was in high school because my parents put in the work to come out here legally, and I don't like seeing all these people just hop on the fence.
So just like my parents that came here legally, your parents came in legally and went through the process, right?
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you are in full support of Trump's deportation plan, right?
Absolutely.
And how do you think he's doing on it?
I mean, I'd like to see more, but he's trying to work within the system, so he can only do so much.
Right. So he's getting a lot of pushback, right?
Right.
So we need these judges to get in line with what we, the American people, voted for, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for being involved. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming out here.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is my gun in my shirt.
It's Ron DeSantis.
And my gun. I took the picture about
that. You took that photo?
Yeah, it's my gun.
That's amazing. Thank you for the service. God bless you. Thanks for being out here today. What's your sign say?
Oh, that's another plus.
Well, I got two different signs. That one says fire the LDDA director.
Garbage time.
And that says violate.
That's awesome. Well done. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, no.
You look beautiful. Look at the hat, the sparkles. You got the diamond necklace on.
Bling bling.
That's bling blinging.
So yeah, but I just want to thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate you speaking out and fighting back and going in the lion's den.
Yeah,
so you get a lot of people behind you. You're not alone if you ever feel alone.
Look at this turnout. We almost have 100 people now.
Yeah.
So Kaitlyn's going to be here in a few minutes.
I heard that.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Stick around.
She's brave.
Yeah, we're Cuban Americans and we're super proud.
Cuban Americans.
Yeah, we moved from Miami here because we don't want any of this, and this is like.
Well, Miami's red now, apparently.
Yeah,
They flipped.
Thank God for that. Yeah.
I know.
Thank God for that.
So I wanted to come over to let you guys know Kaitlyn Bennett's on her way.
Awesome.
So she'll be here in a few minutes.
That's why we're here. We cut our little mini vacation short to get over here.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
We need to support this. This is just not acceptable at all.
Exactly.
I can't believe what happened last week.
You guys, so where do you guys live?
Here in Lakeland. We moved here 5 years ago.
We're right in the outskirts of Lakeland itself.
Yeah, it's a disgrace what Julie did, and she's here from what I've heard.
I think they don't saw her. I think
she's walking around with a clipboard and some.
He saw her. I don't know who she is. I've never seen her, but honestly, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They should not be allowed to do such a thing. That's just wrong.
Well, we're here today
I
to show support.
the camera. I let them look.
Yeah, like I didn't even know we had kept right
It's on
there.
the corner over here where the Jimmy John's.
Right at that corner, there's like a little
Surveillance state. Surveillance state. Look at that. That's a flag.
Yeah,
That's a flag. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you, ladies.
Now, during this event, I saw a number of ACLU members as well as some other people. And during some interactions Kaitlyn had, you can see how unhinged some of these people actually get.
Is that Magdalene? Hey, Magdalene, how are you?
Do not engage the plastic carriers, guys.
You already said it at the last protest.
You have such a sad life.
You're in the middle of the street, though. You might want to come this way so you don't get run over. You guys aren't allowed to protest in the street in this state.
Nothing. I know it's hard, guys. Some of you out here, you've been studying your entire life, devoted to the study of the republic, devoted to study democracy. You see these people, you think, oh, maybe they're operating in good faith. They're not. Be an American, be a true American. Don't negotiate with terrorists.
How am I a terrorist? That's a very severe accusation. How am I a terrorist?
See, they ask these questions, even though stochastic terrorism is something very easy to look up in academic literature.
If you're so smart and you're an intellectual, tell me how I'm a terrorist. That's a very bizarre claim.
If you guys are wondering, please check out our site. We'll be breaking it down.
We're right here. You could just tell us right now. I have way more followers than you. Why don't you just tell the camera so we can learn?
Yeah. Take off your mask.
Don't negotiate with terrorists, guys. Don't platform them. Don't debate them.
All right, well,
in America
she is a little surrounded, so we'll just give her some space here just to make sure she is free to move wherever she wants to go. This is Magdalene. She organizes things with her organization called Blessed by Liberty, to fund oligarchy, Blessed by Liberty. She has been after me ever since I crashed the protest in her speech. She's a little salty about it.
Hail Mary, full of grace. There is a troll in front of my face.
But she could just have a discussion with me right now instead of accusing me to be a terrorist. That's pretty insane. So we're just going to move on from her, because if she's going to accuse me of being a terrorist, I'm not going to stick around for her to try and claim anything or try to come after me with anything. I'm not a terrorist. I'm just a little girl who likes free speech and deportation.
So it amazes me how she calls Kaitlyn a terrorist, but doesn't give an example, right? I mean, the really dumb thing about this interaction is this is a free speech rally, and that includes her right to be there or some other place and talk about whatever it is that she wants. So it implies to her as well. But these people can't seem to think logically because the emotions, the hatred runs so strong and so deep in them. As a matter of fact, we were having, towards the end of the event, we went into the coffee shop to get something to drink, and Kaitlyn joined us. And as soon as she walked in, there was a young lady, there was 3 young ladies at the table, and she recognized, she goes, Kaitlyn Bennett, and she stands up, and I couldn't hear what she exactly said, but she got up and she stormed out. I mean, one thing is to see TDS on TV or on the internet, and another thing is to experience it live. I mean, she was clearly upset, and she even said, oh, of course, because your president won, and again, I was in the midst of a conversation, so I couldn't hear the interaction, but she literally got up and walked away because she could not stand the sight of Kaitlyn Bennett. It was unbelievable. But let's take a look at another person that was interviewed by Kaitlyn Bennett.
So you called me Poopy Pants.
Yes. Miss Poopy Pants.
Yeah. Are you not a fan?
No, not at all.
Why not?
I don't agree with your views. I think you're very closed-minded. Make deportation great again. Yeah, I don't agree with that sentiment at all.
Okay.
Especially coming from a Hispanic background.
Okay. What does your Hispanic background have to do with?
So I am Puerto Rican, although we are technically considered United States citizens.
Yeah.
A lot of my people are still frowned upon, you know, called Mexicans, called slurs. You know, I don't look like them, so I often get associated as being white. But a lot of my family members, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, they don't look like me.
Okay.
They look very Hispanic, so they tend to get thrown things at them, you know, called slurs, told to go back to their country, yet they're American citizens. Most of them were born here.
Well, I totally condemn that. I don't think anybody should be insulted like that in public. I don't think we should call people names, and I don't think that we should be rude to people. You agree with that?
Agreed.
That's interesting.
For the most part.
For the most part. So some people
Unless
you
they-
think you
they
should.
deserve it.
Yeah. Why do I deserve that?
I don't know, because it was funny.
It was funny. So why not tell a Hispanic to go back to his country? Why not, right? Is that funny?
Because why is that funny and why is that cool?
Why is it cool and funny to hurl insults at a woman you don't know anything about, except you just know some of her political opinions?
I know pretty much about, I know a lot about you. I see you everywhere.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for following. So what is it about?
I don't follow, but I do see you everywhere.
You know, I wish I had been there during this particular moment because I would have strongly interjected with the things that she said. What's interesting about this section is how her statement seems to be directed at white people, right? Notice how she says that she doesn't get called these things because she looks white, but her other family members don't, and they get harassed. So can I just say, I can say this in my experience and in my wife. We've actually experienced more racism from minority groups than we have white people. And the white people that I've experienced racism from have been leftist white people. As you can see in this image that I'm showing right now, there was a lady that I was having a debate with online, and is supposed to be pro-immigrant and pro-person of color and all this stuff that they pretend to be, and she says one of the most ignorant things that has been said to me. She tells me to go back to my country. Super ignorant, because I was born in this country. I am a proud first-generation American, and I will defend this country any way, shape that I can. So racism is not an exclusive issue in the U.S., and it's not confined to just white people. Any group can be racist, and most groups where you have, you know, a majority of something can absolutely be it, right? So I'll give you a good example. So when my wife first arrived here legally over 20 years ago, she worked at a school cafeteria, and there were many black women who worked there. And according to my wife, she was ridiculed and treated very poorly because of her accent and being from a Latin country, right? There was a bit of an issue with her, you know, with her ability to understand and communicate. It's not that my wife didn't know English. She did. She actually studied in the university, and she did, but she didn't understand certain lingo, certain words, right? She was very proper in her speech and the way that she communicated. And when you are taught proper English and you're communicating with somebody who is not using proper English, that could be a challenge, right? But the ridicule that she got, she felt it, and it was very real. And again, that wasn't from white people, right? So here are my final thoughts. Like many of the people during this video expressed, freedom of speech is absolutely important for us to remain a republic and not end up like Cuba or some other communistic country. I'm glad this event went smoothly, predominantly because lawyers got involved and put Julie in her place and reminded her that she is violating constitutional rights. We as Americans should fight to defend these rights everywhere and anywhere, because we've already seen if you give the left an inch, they will take a mile to try and silence us. They'll try and silence us, they'll try and silence our views, and they will try and silence our beliefs. And if we continue to remain silent, they will just continue to progress and progress and progress. And later on down the road, we won't be able to really say anything at that point.
It was a very successful day here at the MAGA market. So it's no longer Julie's farmers market. It's not the LDA thing anymore. It's the MAGA market. And I heard all the vendors got refunded by Julie because, you know, it was just such an awful day to have all these Trump supporters here. So all the vendors, you're welcome for a free Saturday here at the farmers market. If you liked what you saw today and you appreciate everybody coming out, standing up for free speech, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and don't forget, the only way I can keep coming out here and doing this is for your support at patreon.com/KaitlynBennett. If you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can get into there for just $5 a month, and we have a lot of good discussions. So thank you guys for your support.
So after the the event, all the YouTubers got together for lunch, and we had a great time connecting with one another on a more personal level. And it was a lot of fun. I got to, like I said, Never Woke was really cool. Adam is a personal friend. He's been my friend now for, I would say, about 2 years. And it was really fun meeting Kaitlyn Bennett and her husband. So it was fun hanging out with them and talking with them and just getting to know one another. It was a really cool time. And the entire event was really good to see all the Patriots out there, right, standing for this. It was pretty awesome. So I want to say thank you to all the people who organized this gathering. Thank you to friend of show, Adam Francisco. And my two new friends, End Wokeness and Kaitlyn Bennett from Liberty Hangout, for a very, very successful event. Please, guys, go check out their channels. I will link the videos, all of the videos. Kaitlyn has a video of the day, and Adam does as well. So I will link 3 different videos. It'll be the initial interaction, the subsequent, and then Adam's point of view of what took place. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you guys next time. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And God bless each and every one of you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.